Hey, Natalie. It's great to see you. Y'all notice the difference? It's amazing how just a few simple gestures and a warm smile can make all the difference in the same welcoming. My world, everybody, is hospitality. And in this world, a genuine smile and a few warm gestures can make disproportionate returns. The thing is in every single industry, we have what we call moments of truth. Now, these moments of truth, they are moments along the customer journey that carry disproportionate impact. Our opportunity as small businesses is to dive deep into these simple but largely impactful moments of truth. But from what I understand, there is a growing opportunity in healthcare. We can switch this to the screens if you want. There we go. The life is being sucked out of life-saving. What was once a deeply human calling is becoming increasingly administrative. There's more documentation than connection. But therein lies the opportunity. And I heard a guy earlier kind of touch on this as well, so I think we're all on the same path. What if the path forward is not in more complexity and consolidation, but instead returning to the fundamentals of authentic relationships? Now, I'm not pretending to understand all the intricacies of medical distribution, but what I do understand is human connection. And more importantly, the conscious and subconscious impact when we do this correctly. Now, just like David facing Goliath, a lot of us in this room may be thinking that we're outmatched by these industry giants. But I'm here to tell you that we have a distinct advantage. We have precision, adaptability, and most importantly, the ability to forge genuine connections that most corporations, large corporations, simply cannot compete with. Hi, I'm Sean Lyons, and I have been obsessed with human interaction for the past 15 years. Today, my partners and I own 3 local restaurants, Germantown Cafe, Park Cafe, and Carrington Row in Brentwood, Tennessee. And I'm here to tell you that if you are feeling squeezed by some larger competitors with deep pockets, we have found a way to compete on a different battlefield and excel in a world of rising costs and an increasingly competitive landscape. So today we're going to go over 3 main topics. The first is defining your unique human-centered niche. The second is using technology and partnerships to amplify that niche. And the third is to make sure we have a team that's a raving fan of your business to execute on your strategic advantages. But first, let me tell you just a quick personal story. Back in high school, and I guess when I was born as well, I was an identical twin. I still am an identical twin. There's no tragic story in this. I'll give you a free app or dessert if you guys can guess which one is me. Come find me after the thing. You know, there's a little motivation for everybody. But when we were in high school and we were in football games, our coaches would yell, "Lions, get in." We'd say, "Which one?" And they'd say, "It doesn't matter, just get in." So we had spent years fighting to be truly seen. Now, with all the people in the audience out here, thousands and thousands of people out in this audience, how many of you have never felt this way? You've never felt that you have to fight to be truly seen? At the table maybe a couple days ago, in a relationship, in a promotion, in a group of friends? If you can't tell, there's not any hands up, and I'm not surprised. It's because this is a deep human desire. And this desire, though, is only getting exacerbated by filters, by algorithms, by mega corporations telling us that their manufactured solutions are the key to satisfaction or our key to happiness. But that's the opportunity, because I think deep down, and maybe not so deep down, a lot of us know that that's not the case. Again, I've heard some other people mention this, so it's just more proof that it's true. We know that these solutions aren't going to make us happy. But that is right there the opportunity. Right? And this is the opportunity that my partners and I have capitalized on with our current restaurants, and we plan to capitalize even further on as we grow our group. We create neighborhood restaurants that allow people to authentically connect with one simple goal in mind: to see people. And it's that simple. Now, the strategy makes a lot of sense for hospitality. We see people, we're hospitality, we do restaurants, yeah, duh, right? However, let's just take a slightly deeper look. In restaurants, we have a mentality that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to people. I think we're crazy, therefore I know that other people think we're crazy. The margins are tiny, the hours are long, and the customers, yeah, they can be pretty difficult to deal with sometimes. But this also reminds me of an industry that lands close to home. It's healthcare providers, right? The hours are also long. The bureaucracy is extremely frustrating. And the liability, now that's a lot scarier than our industry. I honestly, on the service level, don't understand why they do what they do. But deep down, I think you all understand and we understand that both industries are deeply purpose-driven. Now, what happens, though, when these people that are so purpose-driven give everything of themselves to others in the operating room, in the doctor's office, when they leave that room, they go back home and they come back to a world that's increasingly less personal? What's left is a group of people, arguably all of us, that's in desperate need of feeling like they need to connect with somebody, that they want somebody who truly cares about them. They're in need of somebody they're in need of the services that they are giving others. The data is sobering. In 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General declared a public health crisis due to social isolation and loneliness in America. Now, this is what we need, and this is what the opportunity is. Right? We need partners that truly understand us, not just as the surgeon, not just us as the nurse or as the restaurateur, but they understand all facets of our life, and they're willing to support us in all those facets, not just when we're in the operating table, not just when I'm serving the plate of food. What large corporations can do, they can provide a slightly lower price, they can provide some bells and whistles, but they are not structurally set up to provide the strengths that us as smaller businesses can provide. The smaller businesses naturally, again, structurally can provide more support and understanding and long-term partnership with the providers, because that's the real future. The real future is trust and support, because that's what's lacking. That's what's constantly being sucked out of everybody's society, and so if they want it, we're going to be the ones that provide it. Again, this ability to provide the money of the future, the currency of the future, is the powerful opportunity for us. But success just isn't guaranteed because we care, because we're good people. We have to execute strategically. Unlike our larger competitors, we have to master specific strengths during key moments that matter most. We have to identify these moments, excel at them, and treat them with more focus and intention than any of our competitors. With that in mind, we're going to dig into our moments of truth. We can probably flip back to that one, but that's all right. Our first moment of truth is the greet, saying hello. Doesn't seem like that big of a detail, but in our world it's a huge detail because it's our first impression, it's our first opportunity to make somebody feel warm and welcomed, which is a big deal in our industry. That being said, we don't just leave it up to chance that the person that we hired is in a great mood that day. Yes, we hire people with great personalities, but it's hard to maintain consistently. So we developed a system that allows them to be more consistent. So we give them 5 tools that we call the science of the greet. And it's made up of 5 tools or 5 steps that they can lean on when they're on their 232nd guest and maybe they had a bad day that day. So one of those tips, we can probably flip to the next one, there we go, is the authentic smile. We'll go through these. Maybe you have some value in them, and maybe they're just more specific to me. But the authentic smile, a funny study, well, actually a very interesting study took place, and they said that you can identify an inauthentic smile within milliseconds, which means we need authentic smiles. So how do we teach our teams to have authentic smiles? So with the thousands of people in the crowd, please take your finger, put it up, and make sure there's plenty of sanitizer in this room too. This is healthcare. Put it into your mouth. Get the corners of your mouth and stretch it above your finger. Yeah. All right, well, that engages your eye muscles. And so when your eye muscles are engaged, that's what we interpret as humans as an authentic smile. So again, how do we do this? We, like I said with the hosts, instead of hoping that they have a great personality. We have them write down on a piece of paper something that makes them happy, something that they're looking forward to in the near future. So again, if they're just not feeling it that day, if they had a bad interaction with a guest, if they're just hit over and over again with, brunch crowd of bachelorettes, they can look down at that piece of paper and they can remind themselves of what they have to look forward to in their own life and get a little rejuvenation. The second one is my personal favorite because I used to be a dancer. I know they said that during the intro. The most important distance on your body is the distance between your shoulders and your earlobes. It determines either confidence or anxiety. The first pose that I did when I came out had the shortest distance. So what happens when you have this pose in other people subconsciously is what happens to their amygdalas. Their amygdala starts firing and it triggers anxiety. And it's because this is the universal posture for failure. So when other people feel this, they naturally feel anxiety because they think something's going wrong. Therefore, we teach our teams to have good posture for a business purpose, not just looking good, right? That's another benefit. So one of those techniques is, feel free, if you guys want to stand up, have all that, motivation. We teach them that you can tie a helium balloon to your sternum. It goes all the way up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. You relax your shoulders on top. And not only do we look confident, but also, more importantly, we don't make people feel anxious when they walk into the building. The third is hand gestures. People love palms, y'all. It goes back to the Stone Age days. Again, subconsciously, when somebody can't see your hands, they think that there's a stone, a stick, or a bow and arrow in your hand, and you're about to hurt them. This date's still up to this day. We haven't evolved past that point. Therefore, we teach our teams to give a warm gesture, usually a slight wave showing your palm. And by doing that, it naturally makes people feel at ease, whether they know it or not. The next are some fun ones. There's magical connection phrases. There's plenty of these. I'm just going to talk about two. One is, it's great to see you. It's either great to see you again, or it's great to see you for the first time. It's purposely ambiguous. But this phrase makes somebody feel seen and connected to. The second is me too. If you say me too, it draws an immediate connection between two people. So we encourage our hosts to ask questions that they can relate to. Wow, it's amazing weather outside. Do you guys have any fun plans this weekend? Oh yeah, we're going to go see a concert. We're going to go see the New Year's Eve celebration at Bicentennial. Oh my gosh, me too. I can't wait to go to the same concert or do a bike ride in the park. The last is a little peculiar. You might make fun of this. You might talk about it and try and exaggerate it after the presentation. But these are warmth cues. And again, these are subconscious ones. Two of which we'll go into. One is what we call the triple head nod. So a triple head nod is exactly what it sounds like. When somebody's telling you about that weekend or about something they're excited about, you make eye contact and you just do something simple like this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I know it seems crazy, it sounds weird when it's only one-sided, but when you do this, it makes somebody feel like you're present and paying attention. The second one, this is the craziest one, is just the ever so slightly like head tilt. Not like the, sorority girl head tilt, just the ever so slight head tilt. And what happens with this is genetic, it's among most mammals, that if you do an ever so slight head tilt, this is a sign of warmth and happiness. And so just think about your dog when you call their name, when you've been gone for the whole day, they tilt their head and smile. And so again, there's not much explanation to it. Give it a try, it makes you feel warm. Now, a lot of these techniques directly apply to hospitality, I know, but the principle is universal. Identify what matters most to your customers, dig into it and master it obsessively. But don't just be good, break it down to a scientific level so that nobody can deny that you are exceptional in this specific niche. So now that we have gone over our unique human-centered niche, you've defined that. We've called out some key moments of truth in your customer journey. Now, how do we amplify this at scale? Like I said, we need an amplifier. We need to find something that allows us to do with more with less. Now, I'm sure many of you are guessing you know this. It's technology. However, how we use the technology makes all the difference. So take, for example, in our world, we have these handheld ordering tablets. I'm sure you guys have seen these pop up in a lot of restaurants. Now, what a lot of restaurants will do is they'll have a server go up to the table, enter it straight into the tablet, walk away once the orders is done. It's very efficient. It's a fantastic piece of technology. However, we believe at our group that this is lacking personality and connection. And so, and especially if you have to pay with a credit card, it gets really awkward. So we've struck a balance. So we have servers actually go up to the table with a piece of paper, which is more naturally able to maintain eye contact and to connect with the people. And then when they step away, they can put in the order, which is the best of both worlds. The guest gets to be seen, we get to execute on our purpose, and then we also get faster service times than a server running across the building on a singular terminal. The last moment of truth of ours is the feedback that we provide from a guest. I don't know if you all have that technology, but it would probably be pretty valuable if you don't. We found an amazing tool that allows us, and it encourages feedback from the guests shortly after their experience, which has been amazing because the best reviews we can direct straight to Google, which results in more sales and more covers. Anything less than perfect gets directed to us as management. And the best part about this is that we can turn a somewhat negative experience into a raving fan because we can show them that we do authentically care about how their experience went. We did learn a hard lesson, though, with this experience. This technology is primarily text-based. And not everybody's great at conveying empathy through text, or any text game for that matter. So when some of our managers would respond with a more generic response, like, thank you for the feedback, it helps us improve, it didn't have the best response. Guests actually got more upset that we responded that way than if we didn't respond at all. And it's because it seemed canned, even though it wasn't. Right? In today's world of AI and automation, if something isn't very clearly authentic and human, people assume that it's not. And so it actually did the opposite of our intention, which was made people feel like we were ignoring or trying to put a robot in the place of us caring about what their bad experience. And so we've made some changes to how we use this technology. So now instead, when we receive that review, we specifically introduce ourselves by name and our position. We break down each piece of their feedback with either a piece of empathy or an action step of how we're going to address it. And if there is a complaint that's serious enough, we simply just pick up the phone and we call them so they hear the sincerity in our voice. So it's been a really fantastic tool. And the lesson is that technology should be used to amplify humanity and not replace it. Now let's talk about partnerships. This is our not-so-secret weapon against the giants. So a fascinating study was done that tried to determine the most popular person in a group. What they did to determine this is they took multiple groups and they asked those people to write down how many people they liked. And what they found was consistently the most popular person in the group had the longest list of people that they liked. They aggressively liked people. It's the exact same thing in business. Again, this is not an unknown fact, but now we understand why. The more people we connect with, the more people we partner with as small businesses, the more success we can have. And so this is what NDC, as you all know, helps supercharge. As many of you know, NDC is a partnership network that helps independent distributors leverage collective strength. Right? They are a big brother. They're the little mushroom that turns small Mario into Super Mario. They're the 400-pound linemen that protect us against the pressures of price and scale, while we get to focus on, again, the unique moments of truth that larger competitors can't go as deep in. So, with that note, I would like to take this moment to thank NDC for bringing everybody together for the past 3 days so we can make a difference in society, in our own world. We do appreciate that very much. And I would love to call out our local group purchasing organization because they do something very similar, right? They allow us to partner with multiple independent restaurants to get purchasing power of a group 10 times our size. We get better insurance rates, comprehensive HR solutions, supplies, the list goes on. Again, we owe so much to NDC and the GPO for restaurants that we wouldn't have had 10, 15 years ago. So we do owe a big round of applause to them. However, no matter what the niche, the technology, or partnerships, none of it really matters unless you have the people that are super enthusiastic, especially being a small business, about your purpose. So with that being said, we can talk about the secret sauce, our teams. If we expect to extract value from our customers by seeing them, we also and first must see our teams. Truly, 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 and authentically see them. It's that simple. Large companies with values posted on the wall and multi-layers of management just can't compete, especially when we're all really intentional about our culture. The companies are too big and the people are just too far from the source. We, on the other hand, are set up to excel. Again, if we do it intentionally. So this is how we do it. As a restaurant, we don't call ourselves a restaurant internally. We call ourselves a school that happens to teach or use food, beverage, and service to teach life lessons or personal and professional development. Because the reality is most industries, I've been a handful of them, are not so different. They're more alike than they're different. And we believe that you can learn any skill in any environment and apply it to any goal. And if that's true, which means we can, whatever skill we want and is valuable to us as a company, we can translate that to each and every one of our employees for a goal that is important to them, short-term, long-term, and we can actually care about their full journey as a human being. So when they see that our skills align perfectly with their ambitions, why wouldn't they support our business? Honestly, it's a little selfish because they're getting to where they want and we get to where we want. Just an example, if a guest overreacts in our world, it's such a great opportunity to learn guest recovery and empathy. If a server doesn't like a manager's leadership style, I know this never happens in any other industry, right? It's a great opportunity to learn to advance and develop no matter what. If the P&L isn't looking fantastic, what a great way to look at financial drivers. Because at the end of the day, the truth is it's not about French onion soup, even though we have been told to have the best in the country. It's not about medical supplies, and it's not always about a paycheck. The larger companies, sometimes that's all they can provide is the paycheck. But what we provide is we provide purpose, and something even deeper than that, something that I like to call life tokens. And so what the life tokens are, in my mind, are these eternal investments in your guests and in your team. It's something that can never be taken away, that even if you went bankrupt tomorrow, nobody's taking it away. So for example, Sally is never going to forget the one time that you taught her week over week how selling this bandage is the exact same as pitching her artwork to the next art gallery. Again, by aligning our purpose with theirs, they have no reason not to be raving fans of your business. So just by gaining this alignment, we're able to get greater results through greater care, effort, buy-in, and yeah, what do we all want at the end of the day? More profit. Care, y'all. That is what makes the difference. True, authentic care. And the reason is because it's contagious. Again, structurally, in a small business, when you have care and it spreads, it can permeate through every little corner of the business. When you get to these mega corporations, sure, it starts spreading, it always dissipates. They're not structurally set up to go all in like we are. The best part is with technology and partnerships, we now can actually offer the same benefits, or very similar, the same opportunity as these larger partners. So y'all, Goliath is out there. He may always be out there, but we can still win. We just have to sling, or I should say, throw our swing with purpose. So let's bring it home. The more automated and corporate our world is, the more people crave authentic human connection. I got a cool slide for that. Oh yeah, there we go. Your size is not your disadvantage. It's your superpower. So let's remember 3 things. Pull those bad boys up. All right, we're going to define our niche and look at it through a human lens. Use technology to enhance human interaction and not replace it. And build a team that truly is crazy about your purpose because you've aligned it with theirs. Our call to action is simple but profound. Look at every touch point in your business through the lens of human connection. And we can ask ourselves, where are we treating people like transactions more than humans? How can we use technology to enhance human relations rather than replace them? Which partnerships help us punch above our weight class? not that way. And then how are we truly seeing our team as individuals because their purpose aligns with ours? Again, I don't pretend to understand healthcare distribution, but what I do understand is that there's a place in a lucrative one that is not the largest or the most automated. It'll be reserved for those who create meaningful human connections at every opportunity. In a world increasingly dominated by algorithms and automation, remember this: small is the new big, and humanity always wins. Thanks, y'all. And one little note, not one person gets the appetizer dessert. You get a dessert, you get a dessert, you get an appetizer. So for all your friends that missed out on the talks today at the end of the service, they're probably already getting their drinks at the 12:30 club. And then, of course, they're going to Germantown Cafe after that. Feel free to take a screenshot of this, send it to your friends, send it to your family. This is a gift for y'all coming today. Thank you so much.